Hi there. These are my parents. My mom's life story is quite a bit different than mine. She suffered a lifetime of health challenges related first to childhood measles and then a traumatic brain injury when I was quite young. My children know little of their grandma Jerry. Because of her disabilities, she had little involvement in their lives, but her life greatly impacted mine. Bruce Feller of the New York Times summarized a study about the resilience of children. He said, the more children knew their family's history, the stronger their sense of control over their lives, the higher their self esteem, and the more successfully they believed their families functioned. I think this is a valuable lesson. It's more than our genealogy, it's about knowing our family stories. I need and want to remember my mom's life story so that my children can know her and learn from her about gratitude and resiliency. Keeping a history of our lives serves, I think, an unending purpose. I have been a long-time scrapbooker. From printing and cropping pictures to now digital photo albums. I have made memory boxes and true scrapbooks full of my children's schoolwork and their life events. Grab your phone. Take a quick look at all the pictures on your phone. Do you have a few hundred or a few thousand? Are they pictures of everyday happenings or maybe just special events? No matter the event, I think these memories should be stored in a place other than on our phones. So start now creating and writing your own history. From here, I want to talk to you about why you need to start scrapbooking, the different methods of scrapbooking, and what I think is the satisfaction of keeping this type of personal history. So think of all those pictures on your phone. What was happening? What are you celebrating? What are you mourning? What stories do these pictures tell? In 2005, my dad passed away, and while we were at his funeral, his branch president made a comment about the dash on the headstone that separated the birth date from the death date. I think of that dash often. My parents lived long, full lives, but on their headstone, there's nothing more than a dash that represents the lives they lived. I want to fill in that dash so my children and their children will know this part of their family ancestry. One way I fill in that dash is by telling the story of a particular picture or a family event. So again, think of all those pictures on your phone. Is there a better way to save and store these pictures? What story can you tell? When you get a birthday or a thank you card, do you read it and then toss it? There's a story there that makes it part of who you are. And I think there's a better way to save even these memories. So I'm not suggesting we create a paper trail of our lives, but I do think these pictures, stories, cards, notes, journals will help preserve the lives we've been blessed to live. Think of your grandparents, your great-grandparents. What do you know about them? What was their life like? Just as you may wonder about your ancestors, your progenitors will wonder about you. So why not create something for them that will be more than just pictures from a phone living in a cloud somewhere? And maybe your life story will end up in a cloud, but it will be more accessible to those learning about you. And it's more than just pictures, right? This is your life story. The goods, the bads, the successes, the failures, the joys, the hardships. All this creates a life well lived. The task of preserving your personal and family history can be overwhelming, I know. But let me explain a few ways I have found to preserve my family, my personal and family history, from my parents to my children and now to my grandchildren. Create a place for these memories to live, whether it's in a photo album or in a memory box. Some of the first scrapbooks held newspaper articles, hair clippings, family wedding and baby announcements. From sprucecrafts.com, it says, scrapbooking is a crafting, documenting activity with photos, memorabilia, journaling, and embellishments. with our gazillion photos. There are so many fun and creative ways to tell our story with pictures. Let me first talk to you about scrapbooking. So, in the early days of scrapbooking, I printed pictures and glued them onto cute paper with stickers and other embellishments. I would date and tell the story of this particular event. This was fun, but a lot of work compared to digital scrapbooking. Scrapbooking like this obviously takes up more workspace, right? Because you're working with papers and photos, cutters, embellishments, that sort of thing. And so, and also, I think it takes up a little bit of time because you're shopping. You're shopping online for crafting items. You're shopping stores for embellishments. But the fun thing about this type of scrapbooking is that you can add memory things to it. Your cards, baby clippings, socks, that sort of thing. In the early 2000s, digital scrapbooking started to become popular. In the early days, you needed a computer scrapbooking program. But now you can create free accounts on any number of free photo book sites. The fees you pay on these sites will be for extra embellishments and, of course, printing. But there are so many fun and nice options available. Scrapbookers get to choose layouts, paper, embellishments, size of book, and even a book theme. Take a look at this cute Disney themed book that has 10 years of family vacations to Disneyland in it. And you know, if you don't want to be bothered with the details of creating a scrapbook, you can take all your pictures from your phone, pop it in to these digital scrapbooking sites, and they will do the layout and the embellishments and all that for you. So then all you need to do is come back in, add your journaling, and print, and you're done. Let me talk to you next about memory boxes. Memory boxes are just that, a place where other things other than photos can be stored. In memory boxes that I have kept for my children, I have their preschool crafts, high school graduation caps and tassels, scouting merit badges, and notes from loved ones. For each of my children, I have a tote that can easily stack and fit under a bed. I think they call them sweater boxes. From OrganizeMyHouse.com, they suggested some items to add to these boxes. So the ones that I previously mentioned, they add to that first baby outfit, traveling tickets, school project papers, and even journals. So from thinking about what to do with all your pictures and preserving a lifetime of experiences, let's talk a little bit about why you should even care to do this. So for me, being organized feels good. I like when my life is in order and I've spent a day purposefully and well lived. I think that's what we get from preserving our life histories. ABeautifulMess.com gives 10 reasons why one should scrapbook their photos. So here's 3 of them. First of all, photos deserve a real life place to live, to belong. The second one was storing these types of memories are records because our memories sometimes lie. And the third one that I thought was worthy to mention was making scrapbooks will help you feel thankful and reflect. So at the beginning, I mentioned my parents. Scrapbooking is a way of preserving personal and family history. We connect ourselves to others when we write and share their stories. We recently got our first grandbaby, and he was over the other day and just made the funniest face, a face that I remember well from 24 years ago from his dad. And so because my scrapbooks are so easily accessible, I grabbed his newborn scrapbook and showed my daughter-in-law that face. And so there's my new little grandson and my 24-year-old son as a baby making the same little face. It was delightful. And I wondered over that and wondered if I would remember that cute face that my son made if I hadn't looked at that picture in my scrapbooks for all of these years. So, some things that I think you will enjoy about scrapbooking is that it's a fun and creative outlet. One scrapbook blogger suggests that scrapbooking lowers stress levels. When we engage in a creative hobby, our anxiety is reduced. Also, it's a good workout from our brains, recalling and remembering a particular event. She also suggested that this type of activity is a form of meditation. It allows us time to leave the day away, to set the things of the day aside and focus on a creative task. So think of all the time that you spend in idle mode on your phone, looking through a social media or news feed for longer than you should. Because these digital scrapbooking sites are available on your phone, you could be scrapbooking from your phone. So in summary, think of the dash that I mentioned at the beginning. Write and preserve your dash. Your pictures deserve a place to belong other than on your phone. And imagine that feel-good feeling you'll have when you've created order and order of your life experiences. Today, I've explained why you need to start scrapbooking. I've pointed out a few ways in which you can start to scrapbook and preserve your personal and family history, whether by creating a photo album or a memory box. Lastly, I shared with you the satisfaction and joy that you'll get from preserving and organizing your cherished memories. So in the next few weeks, we'll be gathering together with family and friends, celebrating hopefully fun and memorable traditions. I have little evidence of such things happening in my home growing up, and I don't want my children and grandchildren to wonder over our family times and experiences, so I take pictures. So you should take pictures and document these events. I know it seems that life is so busy, but this is your life. Why not take the time to document and preserve it in real time rather than rely on recall some years down the road? This year, take your first step by organizing your scrapbook and scrapbook your pictures that are carelessly stored and forgotten on our phones.